Hey, it's 7:51 in the region. Chuck Pullen, Summer of Chuck 2, the Electric Boogaloo, Bob Starkey in the I guess the third chair in this case.
Well, just cut back, because one, I'm not in the light, and so I look like I'm some phantom figure back here. But I also like that the shirt that I'm wearing today. That's better. Nobody wants to see me right now. If I'm not behind the desk in this shirt, I haven't lost enough weight yet. So that's why I keep the halftime the laptop isn't even charged. I just use it as a shield. No. All right.
Okay,
awesome.
so
there we go.
So joining us, he's probably wondering why this morning. Lieutenant Governor Micah Beck with us here. Good morning, sir.
Good
How are
morning.
you? Thank you for making the trip up.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We were asking earlier what to call you. I'm just going to call you Lieutenant. I'm going to call you the Lieutenant. We've been talking about
Thank you.
Blowing stuff up all day, and the military. We'll just call you the Lieutenant.
That's great.
So,
hey, I've been following that too. It's been quite a ride the last few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to ask you first. So you just made the trip up I-65. How'd that go?
That's good. I mean, it's always an adventure when you start getting north of some of the windmills there. You see all these renewable wind farms, and I kind of shake my head thinking, are those really even doing anything? And then also they were moving today, so that was good.
That's almost a rarity.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite part is, that I was driving through there not long ago on a really windy day, and they weren't running, and I Googled it. They don't run on windy days because it's too windy. And they don't run when there's no wind. They run when there's just the right amount of wind. They don't run on windy days. It's too windy. You would think they would just power the whole grid on a windy day. Like, nope, they just shut down.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. I mean, I'm not the expert in the room on that, but that just seems very counterintuitive.
Well, you are in luck because none of us in the room are experts on wind power, aside from hot air.
Oh, and the ROI on that is 30 years, and they have a 25-year lifespan.
That's ridiculous.
So,
well, and then think about this. The technology is changing every couple of years. 30 years from now, are we going to still be using the same technology?
Right.
Like, I mean, that to me doesn't make any sense. We are literally subsidizing technology that will be long outdated 30 years from now. So, yeah.
Well, and that's what we always talk about is this idea that I always talk about the idea that government is more reactive than proactive. So it's sort of like we're always on the back end trying to figure out how to regulate things that are already kind of the genie's already out of the bottle and thing, instead of staying ahead of things. But then also, historically, when you look at stuff like renewable energy, I met with somebody, there's like Fermilab here in Illinois, and I talked to, I did a panel one time, and the guys there basically said government keeps picking the wrong horses. And this was right around the Cylindra. Yeah. He said that government's picking and choosing the winners in the green energy, and it's basically whoever gets to government first, they get the contracts, whether they have the best product or not. So,
well, that's why government, from our founders' perspective, was always supposed to really stay out of the free market, right? Let the free market drive. I'm not against renewable energy. I'm against government getting involved in the renewable energy business because the free market is really where you're going to get the best innovation, you're going to get the best products, you're going to get the best drive from the private sector. And, I think government is not the answer to the problems. Government tends to be the problem. And when they insert themselves into things like that, it creates more of a problem. So
fantastic answer. Yeah. Well, that brings me to the first question that I know is on everybody's mind about. So it was announced last week that we passed a bill that essentially allows tolling on any interstate. And we're the first state in the union that will allow tolling on any interstate. Hopefully not. Hopefully it doesn't go beyond that. Hopefully there's not a toll booth at the end of my street. But I mean, who knows?
But listen, don't put it past government, right?
So, but here's the interesting question that we've talked about this for years. Even when you go back to like the EV mandates under the Biden administration, as I've always said, it's interesting because you have one hand of government pushing EVs, and then the other hand of government saying, well, we pay for the roads through gas taxes. And at no point did the two meet in the middle and go, well, hang on a second. If we push all EVs, how are we going to pay for the roads?
Yeah, great point. And I think we just keep being told, well, if we tax you a little bit more here, you'll get the roads that you want. Or then, we did that with the lottery. We did that with the gas tax, and the gas tax goes up every year. We've got one of the highest gas taxes in the nation. We were told that was going to fix the roads. What happened? I thought that was going to fix the roads. Oh, well, inflation, so now we need to toll everything. And I think you just can't believe – either don't believe government or let's work to find a different solution because it's a tax. I mean, I've called it out. I'm totally against the tolls because, for one, our parents and grandparents were taxed by the federal government with the promise of this would build a freeway system under the Eisenhower
10 years, in and out.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was hey, we're going to tax you. We're going to build this amazing freeway system. I'm glad we got it. But now what they're doing is they're double dipping. No, our parents paid for this. Our grandparents paid for this. That was the promise the government made to the United States citizens, that these interstate systems would be freeways. And now states want to go back and say, well, we're gonna now tap back into that well. No, the well's dry. Like, the well should be closed up. And if we want to pay for roads, we should do it from a different perspective. Or here's a novel concept: stop spending so much on, I don't know, things like education. We got $22 billion of a $44 billion budget goes to education, and the return on investment is not even close to that. So maybe we're not spending our money wisely when it comes to things like that. I think the private sector is well capable of handling more of the burden in education, which would free up funding then to pay for the necessary infrastructure like roads and things like that.
Well, but then there's also the question of, you have historically what happened with our road fund was we kept taking a penny here, a penny there. Yeah. We just need a few cents for this. We need a few cents for that. And next thing you know, I think about a third of the road taxes were going to things that had nothing to do with the roads. Right. But then also one of the things that I constantly talk about is, even on your way home, you'll pass this beautiful new rest stop. $35 million a pop. We're building rest stops. Jeez. I look at that and go, hey, that's great. I'll be honest, I refuse to stop there. But I look at that and say, how did I get stuck paying for that? Why was there not a public-private partnership? Why is Buc-ee's or Hardee's or Shakey's or somebody paying? Why did I pay for that? That is an asset that we should have been 99-year lease to Buc-ee's. You guys build your thing. You guys spend the $35 million.
Sure.
And we spent, I think, over $100 million on rest stops in the last few years. Something like that seems simple, but then why are we paying for that?
Well, I think you get the lobbyists, you get the corporate interests, and they know that one of the biggest clients that they could possibly get in bed with is the government. And so they come down to the State House, they lobby, the people who have the power of the purse, and then they say, hey, work with us, and we'll give you this beautiful new rest area. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Should we be spending $35 million on a rest area? No, I don't think so. Not in this day and age. And also when we've got great private businesses out there that could provide something even better than a rest area. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've walked into some of them. They're very nice, but it's just a place where you can do your business. And I mean, it doesn't have to be. It does not need to be a Taj Mahal. And so I think that's a great point that you're making.
Well, we used to have rest stops that were just cinder block buildings.
Yeah.
Like you said, that there was one that had a couple vending machines, a small one, and then there was one with a men's room and a women's room, and a little sitting area.
A map in the middle,
and
that
was it.
That's right.
That's it.
And now it's, well, this one is designed to make it look like the amber waves of grain on a sunny summer day. It's like, what? Why do I?
You know what you could do instead? You could just look out the window and see the amber waves of grain in the field.
We tore down the amber waves of grain to pay homage to them.
Yes,
this is a smart guy. We should put him in charge.
I'm just saying.
Hey, this is Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith joining us this morning. So we're going to be here for another half hour, and then we've got the Republican show. This is the Lake County Republican show at 8:30, so he'll be here for that. But we'll take your calls. We're going to take a break here in a minute because it is 8 o'clock in the region. You're listening to AM 1230, 104.7 FM in beautiful Hammond, Indiana.